She screamed at me for trying to invade her privacy, and I had massively overstepped the line before storming away from me back to the car. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go a story titled, I think my wife might be cheating on me with a minor she coaches, but I don't know for sure. What should I do? And this story, guys, this ongoing story, which isn't over, is about a husband. I think he's been married just for a few years now. His wife's 33. And recently, there's been a lot of very suspicious activity on her end. She's an accountant by day and a part-time assistant soccer coach, nights and weekends, after school, that type of thing. And the high school team that she's working with, it's a female coach, obviously, but for a guy's team, which is strange to me. And the husband started noticing all this suspicious behavior with her. Minor at first, but bigger and bigger with regards to staying later, talking about this kid all the time, blah, blah, blah. And now, as you can imagine, things have blown out of proportion. And I'm going to go over here, guys, just to show you, even though this guy's shocked and can't believe that this is the same woman he married, these things can happen, and you got to pay attention to red flags, and anything is possible in this crazy world nowadays. Because you hear stories like this all the time. All the freaking time around the world, where the teacher and the young guy, and you get the point there. I got to watch what I say here on YouTube. So let me go over here, guys, and I want to hear what you all think about the situation, how he's handling it, and all that. He says, all right, I never thought I'd be in this situation, but I'm completely at loss here, and I need some advice. My wife, a 33-year-old female, has been acting really strange lately, and I'm starting to think she might be cheating on me with one of the kids she coaches. I feel sick even typing that. Well, it's only a matter of time before I cover a story like that usually becomes national news. Some background here. My wife is an accountant by day, and in the evenings she volunteers as a soccer coach for a local youth team. She's always loved soccer, and I thought it'd be great that she was so involved with the kids in the community. But recently, she's been dropping weird comments that are really starting to concern me. Leave no stone unturned. Red flags. Gotta keep your eye open. It started about 2 months ago. She casually mentioned one of the boys on her team. He's 17. And I won't say his name for obvious reasons. At first, it was harmless stuff like, he's really talented for his age, or he's a natural leader on the field. I didn't think much of it because, well, she's a coach. And her job is to encourage the kids, right? Well, it's her job to encourage the kids, but it seems like she's bringing this young guy up a little too often. But then the comments started to get weird. Like one night, out of the blue, she said, he really has pretty eyes. They're so striking. I remember thinking, that's an odd thing to say about the kid you're coaching. I kind of brushed it off at first, but then more things followed. No. When she's talking about the young guys she's coaching that are minors, about their eyes, and next thing you know, their triceps or their calves or whatever. No. Inappropriate. And I'm sure the 4% of women watching this would agree with me. Another time she came home after practice and said he's so much more athletic than anyone else on his team. It's impressive how developed he is. Developed as in his skills or his body. Again, I tried to shake it off and my gut started nagging at me. Why is she talking about him so much? Well, when women start talking about guys, it's for an obvious reason. Then there's the fact that she's been getting way more secretive. She's always been open with her phone and emails, but lately, she's been turning her screen away from me when she texts or checks messages. I asked her about it, and she just laughed it off, saying I was being paranoid. Let the gaslighting begin. Nope, I'm not doing anything wrong here. Look, guys, you're with somebody long enough, you know their patterns, their behavior, and when suddenly there's a big change, they may not realize it or want to realize it, but you know. She's also been staying later and later after practices. Well, sounds like she's giving this kid extra practice for himself. At first she told me it was just because they were prepping for some tournament. But now, even with the tournament over, she's still coming home late. When I ask, she gives a vague excuse like, oh, the team needs extra help, or I had some paperwork to catch up on. She couldn't catch up on the paperwork at home, in her home office. I'm sure she has a home office. She's an accountant. Come on here. This is bullshit on top of bullshit here. And this guy, I know he doesn't want to think this or believe it, because who would? Who would want to think that their wife is, not only cheating, but also someone underage. Here's the thing that really has me spiraling. Last week, I came home early from work. I expected to have the house to myself since she was supposed to be at practice, but when I walked in, I found her sitting on the couch, texting someone with a huge smile on her face. When she saw me, she quickly locked her phone and got super flustered. She said it was just one of the parents asking about game schedules, but it didn't feel right. Really, she's going to get that smiley about game schedules? Unless she's doing one of the kids' fathers. I don't have any solid proof, but something just feels off. Why would she be talking about the kids' looks? Why is she suddenly so secretive? I've been able to shake the feeling since something more is going on. Dude, you need to do some serious investigating. When she goes to sleep, that's when you start looking at her phone, her computer, her emails, or honestly, private eye. It's amazing what they uncover. I don't want to accuse her of something so serious without any real evidence, but I also don't want to ignore my instincts. I love her, and I really don't want to believe she'd do something like this, especially with a kid she's supposed to be mentoring. Why, by the way, usually, from my experience, male soccer teams have male coaches, and girls soccer teams have female coaches, so this is a little strange to me. Maybe it just depends where they live. Who knows? There could be obviously a reason for this. So Reddit, what do I do? Am I reading too much into this? Is she cheating on me with a 17-year-old, or am I just being paranoid? How do I begin to confront her about something like this? Any advice would be appreciated. I'm honestly feeling lost right now. Well, before I go into the update here, I will say this. I would suggest that he really gather evidence. Because the second he starts saying things to her, she's going to lose her freaking mind. Guaranteed. Gather evidence, and based on that extra evidence, with everything you're seeing here, yeah, then you act upon it. And consult a lawyer just to find out your options. Now the update. It says, hi everyone. First up, I want to thank you all for supporting and the overwhelming amounts of comments, advice, and support my original post. I really need some sense knocked into me, and I genuinely appreciate the community's input. It has meant a lot during this confusing time. After reading your comments, I took some of your advice and contacted my lawyer on the evening of my original post. I'll go into more details after that shortly, but before diving into the updates, I'd like to clarify why this post is coming out of now and in this format. Unfortunately, after posting, my original post was taken down and I received a 3-day ban from subreddit. Reddit is so bizarre. A 3-day ban for what? Thankfully, the post was later restored, but I had to wait until the ban was lifted to share updates. I did keep track of each development and wrote them out as they happened. I'll be sharing them in chronological order, just as I intended from the start. I'm posting it, well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, on to his updates. It says, post update number 1. I took some of your advice and reached out to a lawyer. Well, sort of. He's an old friend from high school who's now a successful family lawyer, happens to be visiting his family here in my hometown this week. While family law isn't exactly what I need, I'd rather speak to someone I trust before hiring a lawyer and potentially escalating things out of control. Hey, that's no problem. He should keep your confidence and give you good advice, free advice I might add, mostly free, and then you can go from there. I'm meeting him tomorrow for coffee and will update you afterwards. I'm hoping he can give me some solid legal advice without things getting too intense. I obviously don't want her to be arrested or anything drastic like that, but I also don't know what to do next. Right now I'm not even angry, just overwhelmed and in shock. It's hard to process as someone I've been so close to for the last 2 years might not be who I thought, and could have been hiding something awful this entire time. Close to 2 years, so I'm guessing he means married to her 2 years. I'm assuming he's been with her a few years before that. That's not like someone that's been with someone for 20 years or something and then is shocked, you know? Believe me, somebody can put on a show of their true character for a few years very easily. This is why you spend years getting to know your girl. And when you're with her, really paying attention. Next update. It says, the last 5 days have been absolute hell. The title is a bit of a giveaway, but pretty much everyone who commented was right, and my own suspicions have been confirmed. After talking with my friend, the lawyer, we agreed that I should confront her with my concerns, suggest looking through her phone together just to put some of my suspicions to rest. If his lawyer friend told him to look through her phone together, that's the dumbest fucking advice I ever heard in my life. What do you think she's going to do when he accuses her of this? She's going to freak the hell out. And she is absolutely not going to show him her phone until she's had time to wipe it or something, and cover up all her tracks. But let's just see what happens here. Maybe he needs to go to a different lawyer. I realized how risky this was, but we didn't have a lot of choice considering there was no clear proof that anything weird had been going on. Then hire a fucking private investigator. He suggested that we meet somewhere quiet, but still in public setting in case she decided to freak out and do something irrational. Irrational? What could you possibly mean? I decided to take her to a local park where I set her down on a park bench well away from any crowds of people. When we sat down together, I told her how serious of a situation we could be in and that she must be completely honest with me. And that I want to be on her side, but the way she's been acting has led to some serious suspicions. Here we go. I explained to her that I didn't want to break the trust between us, so I had decided against looking through her phone, despite how tempted I was. Well, that sounds all noble and nice of you, but when I told her the concern, she immediately got defensive and started denying everything. Like she's going to admit that she's having relations with a underage kid. Come on here. She called me a paranoid a-hole for even suggesting that she'd be in a relationship with a minor. She says the fact that I'd be even questioning something like that means there's probably something wrong with me and that I must be the one hiding something. Holy freaking crap. Talk about turning it around, gaslighting him. We've heard this before. They're masters at it, guys. Just be aware of this. For you relationship guys or maybe new to this channel or whatever, you got to be aware of this. Look how she's been behaving. All the signs are there. He had every reason to check her, by the way, and said, what are you talking about, fucking 17-year-old about? This is freaking creepy. I mean, you know what I mean. Honestly, the way she reacted just confirmed to me that there was something that she's been hiding and not telling me this entire time, and that without her cooperation, the safest bet was probably just to leave. Yeah, when they're freaking out, walk away. I suggested we look through her phone together just to provide me with a closure, and even if there's nothing to hide, it would mean a lot to me that she would just humor me, and that it might even be fun to look through it together and laugh at how ridiculous I was being. Come on, dude, she's not stupid. She's not going to fall for that. No. She screamed at me for trying to invade her privacy, and that I had massively overstepped the line before storming away from me back to the car and driving to her friend's house to stay for the night. Yeah, fire your lawyer. I know you got your lawyer for free, but he's your friend, but you get what you pay for. Now hire an experienced family law attorney. That probably wouldn't tell you to do that. That was stupid. I don't know what she talked about with her friend, but around 3 o'clock in the morning, I got a really long text from her giving me her view of the situation. The messages were as follows. The entire message was considerably long, so I summarized it for this post. She says, and this is what I guess she said in her text to him. I really don't think what I've been doing is wrong. It started with me just helping this kid with some extra practice because he was struggling to get the hang of some of the drills that we've been working on in the day's training sessions. Define extra practice. Maybe extra practice servicing her. These private sessions were becoming more regular, and after about 3 weeks of extra training, he sent me a friend request on Instagram. He wasn't the first one of the team to send me a request, and I wouldn't usually accept them, but as I was giving the kid private coaching sessions, I thought it made more sense. No, she could establish boundaries. I'm not buying it. This is still her long text to the guy. He started to send me DMs, so I responded because I'm not a total a-hole. Okay, maybe the texts aren't just about soccer anymore. There's nothing wrong with being friends with a kid. Yes, there is. A mentor, a teacher, a coach is not supposed to be friends, particularly if they're minors. You've always been super close to your younger brother, and I've never called you out for being weird. Really? She's comparing this dude saying that you've been close to your younger brother, but I'm not calling you out for that being weird. It's his younger brother. I mean, well, this kid is not related to her, and she's talking about his skills and all that. No. You think she'd come out with something better. The message then proceeded to say how much of an a-hole I was for trying to call her out and trapping her in a situation that would always lead to her looking bad. Does she really think this guy wanted this? Come on here. She ended the message by telling me that she thinks that she'll be able to look past this and forgive me for being totally insecure dickhead. And if I ever question like this again, she'd be filing for divorce. There you go, guys. He has legitimate reasons. Legitimate issues, and he's the bad guy here. This is why he should have gathered a lot more evidence. And his lawyer, I always say listen to your lawyer, unless they're fucking idiots. And his lawyer friend is a fucking idiot. Fire his ass. I was in complete shock when I read this response, as I've never seen this side of my wife. We're not shocked. This is not the kind, loving, respectful, and open person who I married, and it's driving me totally insane. I just don't know what to do. I'm sorry, man. This ain't gonna work. But then again, do you really expect her to admit to having a fling with a minor? Really? We know it's gonna happen to her. I understand what she was telling me is not normal, and I can't believe how naive I've been for so long. But I still feel like there is even more going on than what she's not telling me. Her long message didn't actually explain why she's been messaging this kid so long and for so long, or why she's been spending literally hours every evening locked into our bedroom on the sofa just on her phone. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Smack! No, bonehead. You're not. Don't let her mind F you. Maybe this is more normal than I'm making it out to be, although this seems unlikely. No, this is not normal. Should I try to look through her phone anyway, despite what she's told me? Don't waste your time. She's already covering her tracks, guaranteed. When we had met this previous day, my friend mentioned that this out of his field, but this is out of his field, but I shouldn't contact the police until I was more sure of anything, because if we did end up getting a divorce, she's technically innocent. Calling the police on your wife for providing extra help to a kid that she coaches wouldn't look very good for me in the courtroom. Well, notice he said this is not what his friend specializes in. He needs to gather more evidence, absolutely, but then go from there. So now he also adds some comments. He responded to some comments people had. I'm gonna mention them. One of them he says, thank you for the advice. To be completely honest, I worry that somehow this will come around to bite me if the parents of the child get involved. I realize this sounds crazy and I should probably tell them immediately, but I don't want to be blamed for something that I'm not at all involved in. At this point, I'm just trying to sort out some of the stuff before I'm filing for divorce. My plan is to tell my parents of the child as soon as the divorce is final. I also have no way of contacting his parents as of now, as I have no idea the kid actually is. I have only seen his name on Instagram, but never actually met him personally. I'll be updating soon for my most recent developments to the situation. Next comment, he says, the police have been contacted, but as of now, there aren't any legal grounds to pursue anything. I'll provide more details in the next update, but I want to approach this carefully without completely destroying her trust. Destroying her trust? Dude, you contacted the cops, and you obviously brought this issue to her. Look how she's behaving towards you. That ship has sailed. And by the way, she's destroyed your trust. I haven't gone through her phone, but I did reach out to our shared network provider, and after explaining the situation, I was able to get some limited information on her recent contacts. I believe, if you reach out to your provider and you can find, I can't think of their transcripts of messages sometimes. One challenge is that I actually don't know who the kid is. I never met anyone on the team she coaches, and I don't remember any specific names she mentioned before. Without knowing more, it's tough to involve his parents directly, though I'm definitely trying to make sure I'm doing everything right. Thank you for the advice and concern. It really helps to hear different perspectives. And his last comment, he says, I think after everything has occurred, I don't see any way of forgiving her. Unfortunately, she has deceived me, and I'm grieving the loss of the person who I thought she was, who I knew so well and loved for so long. The relationship is over. Lawyers are involved. Well, I hope you fired your friend. At this point, there are no legal grounds for the police to act on anything. She is even still allowed to coach for the time being. Well, until the parents find out. I just wish I could go back in time and undo everything from the moment I met her, because this all feels like too much to cope with at the moment. Everything I thought I knew my wife is falling apart, and I knew my life is falling apart, and I'm a huge mess at the moment. Through contacting our shared service provider, it's been revealed that there is even more than she's been hiding from me. I'll give more details in my next update. Okay, so we'll be awaiting an update here, but holy crap. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a cop, and he said he reached out to the police, and obviously don't have enough evidence now because guess what? She's covered her tracks. I'm assuming he's talking to the right lawyer, not his friend, about the divorce process, because this is not going to work, and she's a fucking asshole on multiple fronts. But they may be also talking to maybe a criminal attorney to find out some other pieces of advice with regards to this whole thing going down, because this is going to get very ugly. If his network provider for, I guess, his phone and messages has info for him, well, this is going to be interesting. But anyhow, guys, I will keep you posted on this story. But yeah, holy crap. Alright, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.